Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to XDefiant. It's been a while since I posted an XDefiant video here to the channel, and truthfully the reason why is because there hasn't been a whole lot going on with this game. I do actually find myself not playing this game nearly as much because I'm kind of just waiting for the new content to come out. As of yesterday, XDefiant turned 3 months old, and in that time, they've added 2 primary weapons. We had an assault rifle and a sniper. We had a secondary weapon, 1 faction, and then 1 arena map and 1 linear map. We've also gotten what can only be described as 1.5 battle passes because the preseason battle pass was about half as big as the normal one, and that's pretty much it. Like, if we go back 22 days ago, that's when we got the Daytona map, which you guys are seeing right here, but that is a linear map, therefore it can only be played in game modes like escort and zone control, and I don't have the facts to back this up, but I would say that probably the majority of the community play the arena maps, you know, game modes like domination, occupy, team deathmatch, hotshot, game modes like that, right? So when they add in a new map that's only for those linear game modes, well, it's kind of like, well, I guess people have played the other aspect of the game don't really get any updates for a while, and here we are. We have just over 1 month left of Season 1, and all that's really on the roadmap in terms of content is going to be Rockefeller, that map that accidentally came out back when Season 1 dropped, and then Search and Destroy, though unfortunately Search and Destroy is having some issues. Mark Rubin did confirm via Twitter that the game mode is done. Like, the game mode is finished, they have everything set up, but they're having trouble adding in a proper spectating camera because that's all new technology to the engine that they run XDefiant on, and so that's taking some time for them to figure out and for them to finish. So overall, I would say that there's been a content drought in XDefiant as of late, and that is definitely pushing a lot of people away from the game. I can say subjectively that a lot of my friends have stopped playing, which is really unfortunate. I don't think that they're done with the game entirely, but in terms of just signing in every day, grinding the game every day, they've moved away from that because, let's be honest, the honeymoon phase is now over. They're moving on to different things, trying out different stuff. Modern Warfare 2 Remastered is definitely one of them. And I think that myself, my friends, and probably the entire community were just kind of waiting for those new updates and those new features that have been talked about previously, but have not yet been added to the game. And honestly, it's getting a bit frustrating, and that's coming from me, who's a Ubisoft partner. I did join the Ubisoft Creator Program. There is a code in the shop if you guys want to support me and the game that way. It's code NerosCinema. And the reason why I joined that is because I believe in XDefiant. Like, in terms of just fast-paced, fun gameplay, no skill-based matchmaking, a transparent dev team, like, everything about XDefiant has been fantastic, except for the lack of content. Like, that's been the biggest issue for me personally. And what's nice about the creator program is it's not like I'm gonna get in trouble or they're gonna like remove me from the program for speaking out against their game or talking about things I don't like about the game. They actually care about that feedback as long as it's constructive, right? And I do think it's very constructive feedback to say that there's been a content drought in XDefiant, which is definitely causing a lot of players to walk away from the game, though thankfully Mark Rubin has taken to Twitter to give us more of an insight as to what's going to be coming in the future. First things first, a Spider-Bot rework where it does not jump up and hug your face. I've been saying since launch, I say it on every single live stream, I don't know why the Spider-Bot exists. It's frustrating, man. It's this thing that you throw out, there's no player agency, it does everything on its own, it's very buggy, it's been buggy since launch, it doesn't work half the time, it stuns you for 5 seconds, it does 40 damage, it's just an annoyance in the game that I don't really think adds any benefit to the game. Like, it's there to annoy people pretty much. It looks like instead of trying to be bullheaded about it, they're actually looking to revamp the Spider-Bot. Some of the things they've been talking about on Twitter are a device that's going to kind of have an EMP effect to an extent, maybe having a jammer effect similar to the device that we used to have back in Black Ops 1 where you throw it down and it blocks off the minimap in the area of the jammer. He's also talked about something that counters the cleaner's firebomb, interestingly enough. So the Spider-Bot is not going to be removed, but it's going to be reworked so that it doesn't just run around the map, jump on your face and stun you and just... Thank goodness, because the Spider-Bot was pretty much the most annoying thing within XDefiant. Mark Rubin has also let us know that they are working on major reworks to add cosmetic grinds to the game and adding really cool events like mid-season events and different events in general to the game. I mean, Halloween is not that far away. I would love for like a Halloween event to come. You know, basically all the stuff that we used to have in COD, the really fun holiday events that you looked forward to every year, and then they got rid of them for some reason. Well, it'd be really cool if XDefiant had them. Of course, the sky is the limit when it comes to the cosmetics and stuff that they can do within the game because they have so many different universes all being blended together into this one game. And then, of course, previously they announced that things like kill cams are going to be coming, private matches, prestige mode, a weapon mastery system upgrade, mouse and keyboard support on console. Then they teased this forever ago, and I still think it's one of the biggest things. weapon XP for playing the objective. I don't know how that is not out yet. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I understand why players like myself are not logging in as much. I understand why my friends are not logging in really at all anymore, because pretty much since the game came out just over 3 months ago, there hasn't been anything for you to grind for in the game besides your weapon levels, and weapon levels take for freaking ever unless you're playing team deathmatch and going on kill streaks. And so it's this thing where you jump in, and sure, you have that old school classic mentality of just run around, get kills, try to be the best player in the lobby, but without having a little bit of extra to go for, that does get old after a little bit. It is always fun to run around and get kills and be the top person, you know, but when you're not working towards anything besides your weapon camo, and when you're only getting like 1.5, maybe 2 weapon levels per match, and there's 400 weapon levels for one individual gun, you can see why people kind of get burnt out. Like when I get a gun to gold, for example, that's weapon level 200. That's only halfway to the final camo, man. It takes so ridiculously long. Like you get gold, then you're like, I have to go through 100 more weapon levels just to get the next camo. Like that's obscene. That is such a grind. And the best way to do it is to play team deathmatch. And if you guys are anything like me, like truthfully, like honest to God, I don't like team deathmatch. It's not even just an XDefiant thing. It's a shooter thing in general. Like TDM is campy. There's no incentive to move, you know? And so people tend to play back a lot more. People sit back and snipe a lot more. No one's like rushing towards an objective or trying to get tags or trying to get flags or anything like that. They're just doing nothing almost. You know, TDM's always been kind of slow. I always preferred objective game modes like Occupy, which is hardpoint, you know, or Domination, especially. That's like my favorite game mode in shooter history. Search and Destroy even is ridiculously fun. I hope that they make it so you get lots of weapon levels while you play Search, because obviously you don't get nearly as many kills in Search. We're gonna have to see how that plays out. So when we find ourselves in the situation that we're in currently, where the game's been out for 3 months and there's really no progression in the game whatsoever besides grinding weapon camos, which take forever, and then the battle pass, which doesn't take that long realistically, as long as you're actually playing and doing your daily challenges, you know, you can see why people are getting kind of burnt out and taking a break from XDefiant, which does scare me. It truly does, because you want a new game when it comes out to hit the ground running, you know, have that massive player base, and then retain as many of those players as humanly possible. And we don't have the numbers, obviously, but I feel like XDefiant has lost a number of those players, because while yes, it had so much hype at launch and so many people were playing the game and talking about the game and enjoying the game, they haven't really been able to keep up, which is maybe why, perhaps why, they delayed the game so many times, because they wanted to make sure that they could have more stuff at launch, but eventually they just had to get the game out, and they put it out there, and we're missing things like prestige mode. Weapon mastery is nowhere near where it could be. Kill cams are not there. Private matches are not there. Like, there's just so many things that we've wanted from the game that just have not yet been added, and we keep hearing about how they're coming down the pipeline, but it's like, well, when is it going to be happening? You know, I feel like a lot of people are in that boat. And I'm still going to be playing XDefiant. I'm still going to be covering it here on the channel, especially when Search and Destroy comes out. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty excited about that. Rockefeller, from what I played of it when it was accidentally added to the game back during the launch of Season 1, it was a fantastic map. I think people are going to really enjoy having a new map to run around on while playing normal traditional game modes. I mean, Clubhouse has been ridiculously good. It's been such a great addition to the game, and I want more. I need more maps. I need more things to do, more things to grind for. And they're working on it, is what we keep hearing from the developers, which is nice. The transparency is there. I just worry about the future of the game, man. I really do, because they're adding so many cool things. They're talking about so many cool things, but the question is, when is that stuff going to come out? And when it does come out, is it going to be too little too late, because people are already moved on from the game? I mean, obviously I look at things from the NerosCinema, like YouTube perspective, right? Like, I'm a COD channel at the end of the day. I'm also a Call of Duty player, so I do worry that when the Black Ops 6 beta comes out, which is pretty freaking soon, that even less people are going to be thinking about XDefiant. I'm worried about when Black Ops 6 comes out in general, that even less people are going to be thinking about XDefiant, you know? But then again, XDefiant has its own separate fan base away from Call of Duty, but that's not to say that there's not so many Call of Duty refugees sitting here in our little boat holding our controllers trying to get away from the Isle of skill-based matchmaking. You know, those people want to play a game like XDefiant as well, and I'm just curious to see how the future of the game is going to go when all those quality of life improvements are added. Reworking the Spirebot to basically remove it from the game, adding in more cosmetic grinds for people to work towards camos and skins, and revamping the entire weapon mastery system, and finally adding in prestige mode and all that stuff. Like, when that stuff comes to the game, it might be freaking huge. Or it might be a situation where people are like, that's kind of cool, but I already played that game, I already experienced it, I'm gonna go play this new thing over here. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. But as always, guys, I will still be here with you every step of the way as new updates come out and as more information is released about XDefiant. So for right now, that's it for this video here today. Mark Rubin did give us some promising news about the Spider-Bot and major reworks coming to the game to add more cosmetic grinds for people to go for, and new events are gonna be coming to the game. That's all fantastic, but again, the question is, when is that going to be happening? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for listening to this video, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.